ArchieLuxury, ArchieLuxury channel. And today I've got a real special treat for the viewers here. I've got four sea dwellers. Four sea dwellers. Very interesting tale indeed. Starting with the double red sea dweller, plastic. The ceramic. No, this is the sapphire, the ceramic, and the new 43 mil. Rolex Sea Dweller. When you talk collectible vintage watches, the double red Sea Dweller is one of the most collectible pieces of all time. This particular piece here tells a very interesting tale, and this is a Rolex Sea Dweller which has gone back to Rolex for overhaul and service. And look very carefully. What have they done here? They've actually changed the dial. This is not the original double red Sea Dweller dial. Look at the Swiss down the bottom there, the giveaway. But this is it's a double red Sea Dweller, and this here is what you would really refer to as the best condition Sea Dweller I've ever seen. You may not approve of what was done here, and the purist would say keep it original. But if you want the absolute best Sea Dweller, plastic, you want the absolute best double red Sea Dweller in the world, I think this is the piece. The piece itself was restored by Rolex, and they've replaced a number of items on this watch, and it comes complete with original Rolex papers and this service where they replaced the dial, the hands, a number of ingredients. This watch here is kind of out of flavor now because patina and age are very, very popular. It's like the vintage car, classic car scene where they wanted to desperately have it looking better than factory. This is better than factory. However, it's probably, by sending it to Rolex for a service and overhauling it like this, it's probably destroyed a fair bit of value and cost an absolute fortune. I mean, the problem is the purists these days, they want it in original condition. They don't really want it in over-restored condition. But this individual concerned here bought this from somebody who had the work done. And I got to tell you, he got it at a fairly good price. I don't want to mention the price, but it was, I've mentioned it to a few dealers. And on the scene, they've said, hey, I'd snap it up at that price too. So it's a piece that has had the full works by Rolex. And I got to tell you, it's in amazing condition. This is probably the best plastic Sea Dweller you'll see. It is beautiful. It is still very much a beautiful watch here. But it's one of these things. Rolex doesn't really look after the collector market. They don't really cherish the collector market like Patek does. And they don't understand this collectible market. They don't understand why these pieces are so cherished and loved. And this is partly the reason that Rolex is really, they're a bit like Ferrari. Ferrari is angered that these vintage Ferraris are so valuable because he doesn't make a cracker. He doesn't make a brass razoo out of the vintage market. And they feel FOMO, fear of missing out. And Rolex is a bit the same. They kind of, this piece here would be worth more if it hadn't gone to Rolex for the service. And it would have cost the owner an absolute fortune. I suspect new bracelet, I suspect maybe a new case. It's a lot of parts have been changed, and yes, it's absolutely perfect now. Yes, it's waterproof. Rolex guarantees the waterproofness, but you know, it's a very interesting piece here. It's probably the greatest condition double red sea dweller you'll see on the market. The best condition. I've never seen anything like it. It's like brand spanking new, and that's a cool look. But vintage lovers really do love that vintage look, and that vintage look comes from years of use, and it's not something you can just spray paint on. So I gotta tell you, this piece here itself, absolutely amazing. Absolutely, I've never seen a double red sea dweller as perfect as this. It certainly is the most perfect one you'll see. Is it worth the money? Is it worth? Well, I would say, look, don't send a vintage Rolex into Rolex, because they will over restore it. But it is a very much it's a usable watch. It's it doesn't have that patina of a vintage model, but yes, it is very, very much the perfect sea dweller, perfect double red plastic sea dweller. So tell me what you think. What do you think of this Rolex double red plastic sea dweller? I'm ArchieLuxury. Comments below, please.
We specialize in the repair of Rolex and Patek Philippe watches. We've been doing the same thing for more than 25 years. We have Rolex technicians certified by Rolex who actually used to work for the company for many years, like if we're doing the work on the factory. We completely disassemble the watch and we put it to work like brand new condition. When you get the pre-owned watch, it's like if you're getting a brand new unit. The only difference is the money.
ArchieLuxury channel, and today we're discussing super Rolex divers. We're talking sea dweller, and I gotta tell you, the ultimate diver in the Rolex range is the deep sea. And let's compare these here. We've got all the models, the major iterations of sea dweller here, and I gotta tell you, look at this here. This is the big daddy, the deep sea, Look at the size of this baby, and I'm just going to compare it to the current 43 mil. So can you see just a slight size there? Now we're going to also compare it to the last. These are three ceramics. Look at this here. This is the 40 mil, the 43, and the 44 deep sea. What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Indeed. What do you reckon there? So it's a magic collection, the ultimate divers collection here. Look at this here. Look at the watches. What do you think? It's very fascinating to have a look at these big divers,